What's up?
We are here in the shop. I walked in about a year ago, walked into a great family environment. I would like to know where the base of that started. I don't know how long Meghan has been here. I don't know the story behind the glass.
Okay.
Can I please just get the introduction to it all?
All right. Awesome.
Glass brought us together.
We went into business with somebody else, and Smiley had held a promise to train one of their friends. It didn't work out. The person was just not a fit.
Untrainable.
Right, okay. For us. That's not to say that other people may not have been able to train. For us, it wasn't the character that we were looking for our vision, right? It didn't fit.
That motherfucker didn't listen. He didn't listen. He didn't want to do shit.
It didn't fit with what we wanted.
He didn't want to clean. She's trying to make it sound nice.
I'm Switzerland here. It just didn't fit with what we wanted to do, right? And so the day that we let him go, our windows were broken.
Yeah.
Like we were having dinner with our family, and I get a phone call from the pizzeria.
I remember I was serving. It's funny because I did scrambled egg and white rice because we had gotten home late.
Yeah.
It just did some shit. It was 9:15. I'm literally on my last plate, which was hers, because I go down the aisle. You know what I'm saying? From Meghan all the way down to biggest can, then her. As soon as I was sitting on her plate, that I put it in the thing on the table. We got the call from the pizzeria.
So the person who had smashed our windows did so in front of a child. There used to be children who used to hang out here, like
in front of our shop.
In front of our shop.
From the pizzeria, the guys that work there, their kids.
So we get a phone call and we get down here, and Meghan used to work the desk at karate, right? She's also like a karate instructor. She used to work the desk. I think I had like seen her a little bit, but not really like
like in waving, just like
hey, yeah. And so we get here and he's live on Instagram, right? And I'm like, get off live, nobody needs to know.
I was
and
like,
he's
no,
like, I don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, nigga, yeah.
He was a savage on live, and I'm like, oh my god, no, tone it down. I'm trying to run a business. Oh my god, no.
Nah, get off me.
He was like, he was big mad. Yeah. And Meghan pulled up, and I remember like. Tall girl in these little shorts and really white legs, and I'm like, and she's like, are you guys okay? Do you need any help? And I was like,
she said she saw it on.
I saw it on Smiley's live. So the thing was, Jeffrey already talked to you guys and was like, they're really good people. Like he knew that at some point I wanted like a tattoo.
Yeah.
And so he's like, they're really good people. While like we all in the plaza.
Yeah, because I met
get
Jeffrey
to know
first.
each other.
Yeah.
And then so I started following you guys, and then I saw it on live, and like it was weird because normally I'm not on Instagram that late. It was like by that time it was probably like 11 o'clock at night.
It was meant to happen. You know,
and like
meant to happen.
It was super weird because I'm like normally not on my phone, and then so like I'm like, oh, let me go check on karate because like shit like this don't happen here.
Right.
So I'm like,
we bought all the sauce.
I'm like, is it just them or is it like everybody? And like Jeffrey lives in Staten Island.
Yeah.
So I live 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
I'm a lot closer. So I went, checked, and then like, of course, like my
her
ass
passing by, she saw the glass.
My ass goes to see broken glass and like
broken glass and like
and
all
like,
our kids.
The glass in front of the shop, like in front of the
yeah,
arcade.
Brian.
All of
so
those.
You know where the door is?
All
that
of them.
front window.
There's video. Maybe we can attach video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so there's video.
But then, so like, I see all this broken glass and see just a bunch of people staring at it, trying to clean it, but like glass is a pain in the ass, like no matter what 100%. You do. And so like I stopped. I'm like, do you guys need help? Like I'm here anyway.
And she stayed most
so
of the
like
night.
3:30 in the morning.
Right, and then so that was like.
Because we slept over the shop that night.
So that was
the
like
windows open.
that was the beginning of the relationship, and then we put our son in karate. And then we started kind of like building a relationship that way. And she was going to school and I was going through shit with a young lady that we had here. And so Meghan became kind of like my shoulder to cry on almost, like just my ear that I could vent to. And she would just kind of listen and then vice versa because she was super stressed out about school. So she would come here and she'd kind of hang out and she'd vent and she'd help. And I don't think she realized how much she was helping while she was here. And then things kind of like started slowing down a little bit in karate, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, you know, we had an apprentice who was going away on vacation. And I was like, can you help out around the shop for a few days? Yeah. She was like, oh my God, yeah. So it started like very part-time, very informal or whatever. And it was just like me and her trying. We were just trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
trying to figure things out. And then as the shop grew and things for karate kind of shifted, she was available to do more of like a full-time position.
Yeah, because also right before COVID, I would be there from like 11:30 to like 5, and then from 5 to whatever time we closed at karate, I would just walk across. We're in the same plaza. I would just walk across, and then really after COVID, that's when it fully like.
Well,
I think I was here like
also-
one full day, and then like
Also,
that.
after COVID is when we were really fully staffed. And so it could no longer just be me. It was way too much for me. It was way too overwhelming. And we had good systems in place to be able to kind of like cross-train, right? To be able, for the both of us to be able to do it. And so like, I'm incredibly grateful for Meghan. I wouldn't be able to have achieved as much as I have on my own. You know what I mean? So it's cool to have like that's my right hand in business. This is my right hand in life, and this is my right hand in this business. And I'm just so grateful. Like, my hope is that if you're running a business, that you can find somebody like Meghan to help you, because
You can't do it on. You
priceless,
can't be stubborn and do
honestly.
it by yourself.
Yeah, like I wish I could
It's
like
impossible.
triple her salary, and one day I'll be able to. But yeah.
When you were coming over just to help out, did you ever envision yourself working at the shop, or was it just something of like, these people need help, I want to be able to help them?
So fun fact, it was the night before my college orientation where I thought I was going to go to school for nursing. That, fuck biology, fuck chemistry. Like, that's all I gotta say with
She
that.
hated that shit. She's
I
come to the shop
hated it.
after school and be like, I hate biology.
And I used to
hate
talk
this
to
shit.
her mom, right?
I'm
'Cause
like,
her
fucking
mom,
quit.
Her mom, I'm not really sure why, but I feel like right off the bat, she had a different type of respect for me than a lot of people do, especially because I'm like heavily tattooed. But her mom was more open to like hearing me out, right? And I feel like I definitely advocated for Meghan to kind of like live a little bit, like let her just.
Great job. Do her
Well,
own
this is the
Maybe
difference.
this isn't it.
This is
for
the
Like,
her.
I went to
difference.
school and I was miserable.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I
But
doing
the only
this?
reason her mom really considered is because she had tattoo. Because it's just not wording. It's what you own.
Right.
You're talking to her in a perspective from a entrepreneur, somebody that owns a business, saying she shouldn't do the school thing. This
Now,
is
she
another
shouldn't,
alternative.
right? Like, give her a chance. Maybe she would be better doing something
So
else.
her mom took it serious. She's like, okay, you know what you're talking about. You guys own a business, so I could see that. But if it was somebody from Wawa saying like your daughter shouldn't, you're like, who the fuck are you? You know what I mean?
And I think it's one of the best things that Meghan has done. I've seen her grow, like, personally, right? Because she was a kid. I mean, she's still really young, but
I
she
met
was
you guys at 18.
she was a kid. You know what I mean? And so I remember, like, getting her cake for her 19th birthday because her mom was in the hospital. I was like, happy birthday. I got flowers and a cake. It was so I think that,
That's so
like,
nice.
like Meghan being open to having an experience in our shop, and Rodrigo being open to working with us, and like that communication being open all around, created a really good culture right off the bat. So it was like the four of us, him and I, and Meghan and Rogo, and we had an idea of how we wanted the vibe to go, right? And I think that set the like the four of us and the way that we interacted with each other set the foundation of how we wanted things to go in our business. So you get more of a family feel, but you also get like that support, that
100%.
you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of businesses that'll be like, yeah, you know, we're like a family here. No, but we really are, because when shit hits the fan for you, we got you. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Like,
for real, for real.
Like, throughout COVID, like, all of us were constantly checking in on each other. I remember the one night we, like, all were on Instagram and, like, doing shots together in our own homes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
But,
Yeah.
like, we genuinely, like, all of COVID, even though we weren't here, we were still talking to each other almost daily.
You guys
Yeah,
weren't here,
and,
but you were still together.
Yeah,
Still
we
together.
went through
That's so
COVID
dope.
together, and we kind of looked each other out. And like, if somebody was short on money or short on food or whatever it was, like,
You had
we
someone
all
to
made
reach out to.
sure.
we all made sure that, like, as a family, we
Yeah.
were all good.
That's
yeah,
been dope.
yeah, it was really dope. Like, I think COVID brought us even closer
Yeah.
together than if we would have been in the shop, without a doubt.
Meg, coming over from being an instructor at karate and wanting to go to school, how was the transition over into the tattooing industry? Did you feel like it was a lot at first? Did you feel like I could really do this?
So, I feel like the biggest transition was, like, there was Miss Meghan, and then there was Meghan. And then, so it was very much like when I was at karate, I had, like, 3-year-olds. So it was more of, like, having to constantly filter, making sure that, like, granted, I love my kids. Like, last night I saw, like, one of my, like, kids I started teaching at 4 went to, like, 8th grade formal, and I'm like, oh my God, she's, like, such, like, a little human now. But there was that transition time of being able to be more open. And if I had something to say, it was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like, obviously, I'm not going to, like, try to hurt someone's feelings.
Right.
But
Purposely.
but like, I can be more open and honest than, like, versus when I'm talking to, like, a 5 or 6-year-old. So I was able to communicate more, and then just in the shop as a whole. And then once we went to conventions and everything like that, I remember before we went to Philly before COVID, Sarah's like,
What was the first convention you did?
Philly, right
Yeah.
before COVID.
Yeah.
Is this when we were
When we
with
all got
Dusty?
COVID after.
With Dusty?
No,
No.
the year after.
Yeah, Riddick, I think.
Riddick
right?
year.
Yeah.
Riddick?
Yeah, Riddick year.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. Share your experience. Share your
So,
experience.
like, right before we left, Sarah's like, okay, you got to be ready. Like, and, like, Sarah's making me nervous. She's like, you're going to see some weird shit, but it's okay. You're safe. And I'm like, oh, God, what the fuck's going to happen here?
I
Like,
mean,
I was expecting stuff to happen at the convention, not at the house. But besides that.
I
like-
mean, I also feel like Philadelphia was an eye-opener for her because of two things. I think it helped her realize like the dynamics of the team and what the expectation was from everyone on the team. And for me, like, respect each other and respect me.
Yeah. 100%.
Above it all, respect him.
Yeah.
Because without him,
Yeah.
we don't got none of this. None of it. Not me, not you, not her, not nobody, right? Because this was literally like the first brick that was laid in order for us to build what we have now. And
Yeah.
so, Megan, I think that was the first time that you really saw me lose my shit, right?
Yeah. Very interesting morning. But I feel like also, too, because, like, I had my first tattoo with you guys. I really haven't been in other shops. Like, I had piercings at another shop. But besides that, I really wasn't exposed to the industry as, say, other people in the shop have been. So, like, that first convention also opened me up to, like, the industry as a whole of, like, how the fuck people talk to people that they work with.
It's crazy.
You're not gonna talk
Like,
to us like that.
Seeing the way that some artists like treat their apprentices, or even just talk to someone that like you work with each other every day.
Yeah.
How are you going to be yelling and belittling someone
Or
for
yeah,
no reason?
or shop owners call
Like-
their apprentice the shop's bitch. How you, that's a human being. You're calling
Like,
a bitch right there.
it's
You know what I
insane.
mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like that first convention really gave me a view of the industry as a whole. There's very like the spectrum of like
You have really good shops.
you're in a really great shop
Yeah.
where you respect each other as humans and artists. And then there's other shops where it's like, yeah, your work's good, but you're an asshole.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like-
I could definitely say the Philly convention did the same thing for me as well. Like, seeing that, I've said this before on the pod, that I was a part of a special shop and that not every shop in the tattoo industry was ran this way, and that it's not like, yeah, this is Chakra's one in a million.
You saw the difference in Philly.
Yeah,
how
100%.
People ran their other booths
Yeah.
where like people weren't even talking to each other within their own booth, and it's like they weren't helping each other out.
Not at all.
Meanwhile, we're like ants.
Yeah, yeah.
One, we
What do you
didn't even
need?
have
What
to
do you
tell
need?
somebody
I
we
got
need
you.
something.
Yeah.
Somebody just knew we needed
Yep,
it.
100%.
And it was just like everything was moving.
It's teamwork,
seamlessly.
man. I feel like but also like guidance. Like I feel like our shop has guidance, right?
Yeah.
Whether it be myself or Smiley or Megan, kind of pushing things in the direction that they need to go. Doing conventions with Megan now that she has experience is a complete life changer for me. Conventions used to be incredibly stressful from start to finish. And so to be able to kind of distribute that load and know that it's going to be done well,
Yeah.
and that I don't have to like stand over her shoulder and oversee things. Like I trust that whatever I've given her to do, she's gonna like
execute it at a high level.
and go above
Yeah.
what my expectations are. I think that really was a game changer, and also why we're able to do more conventions consistently, right? Because now there's a share in the load, and yeah, like that would be impossible without.
We're like
Megan.
the shop as a whole. We run everything in systems. So, and if one doesn't work, so like we were doing it one way in Philly, and then it didn't work. So when we came home, I changed it for Atlanta, and it works so much better. So it's being able to create formats just to follow, and that's how the shop runs as a whole. Where
We test systems, and
Yeah.
if they work, great. If they don't work, we go back to
Adjust.
the drawing board and kind of like bounce ideas around and see what would work best. And
and as we continue to grow, we adjust it to reflect our growth.
and it's cool that like our artists are also very open to the changes that we make. Like we recently went from like a job form to being able to book consultations right online. And some people are very hesitant to change, and our artists were like, fuck it, whatever.
We had team meetings, which helps a lot. That we all have ideas, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, just speak them out.
Yeah, we just speak out our minds to see, and so we
Megan,
can stay on the same page.
How do you feel about the amount of responsibility that you have at the shop?
I feel like switching over to online consultations helped the load a lot, especially with John transitioning to piercing. Because adding a new service and then also switching our systems at the same time. Like there was genuinely points where I went home and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And just looking at Square as a whole, and I'm like, what is this? Because also too, we've been using Rev mainly for
Ever.
Like
For day one was Rev, and we love Rev, but there are better ways.
So then
It's a
switching.
very raw program.
Yeah.
There's too much clicking. There's too much shit. You want to simplify it to like just buttons.
So then switching to Square at first, like I remember there was like a week of me just staring at Square, and I'm like, so like we're going to be friends, but you need to work with me. Like there's a lot of talk to this computer. But then once like I worked at the Kings with like Smiley and John, and I'm like, oh, okay, this works better.
Yeah.
But I feel like that, like anytime we transition something new, I'm like, I need to figure out how all this works now. And then when it takes me more than a day, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
Hey, Sarah.
Like, there was a moment of like, I tried using the help desk, and the help desk was not helpful.
So it's cool that when she hits these roadblocks, she's like, hey, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing at this point, and I'm able to come. We'll figure this out. Yeah, a little bit of Meghan. Tell them how old you are.
I'm 22.
Meghan is 22 years old, helping me run this business.
And started here. Met her when she was 18.
Yeah.
Damn, that is crazy. That is wild.
We made people old. We made people old here. Brian was a baby. Brian was a baby when he got here.
But also, I feel like that speaks volumes to like hiring culture, right? Because a lot of people wouldn't take a chance on someone who is young because they lack experience.
You're not experienced.
Without realizing
Well, how they
that
gonna experience you? Never
not
given
only,
opportunity.
not only do they not like need to gain the experience at some point, but the fact that they don't have any means that they're like
they're more formable.
They're thirsty to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to learn, and in learning, you may be able to think of things that you wouldn't have otherwise. You know what I mean? 100%. So I think it's really important to take a chance on like this up and coming generation, because as I'm 14 years older than Meghan, as like older than her, I've learned a lot from her, and I wouldn't have like Google Docs and shit. That shit wasn't a thing. That wasn't a thing for me, you know. So to be able to learn from the younger generation, I think is what's gonna keep businesses thriving. It's what's gonna help the industry move forward, is to be able to kind of lean into that younger generation who knows more than we do when it comes to technology.
Update and refresh your systems and the culture, 100%.